get that opportunity. Maybe it's a beautiful day outside and it's been very cloudy or rainy or whatever, and you get to spend that close time, but you have a roof over your head. Just it's not always going to be great, but those simple little things we have to remember we have. My lights are on. The simple little things. And then number 13, this is something I'm working on myself, is being kind to yourself. You have to make sure that all the forgiveness you have for other people, all the, yes, I'll do it for you, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, all that you do for everybody else, do that for you. When you say, no, I'm going to go ahead and put it aside because, such and such really wants to do this, so I'm not going to do that. No, put yourself first. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to say no to people. It's okay to say, I'm not doing it today. And it's okay to make people mad. It's going to happen. It's part of life. You're not going to please everybody every single time. And it's okay. Sometimes it's going to be your mentors that you're mad at. Sometimes it's going to be your downlines you're mad at. You're going to be mad. But be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just fix your problem, fix your issues, keep working through it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learn to love yourself. And when you have that ultimate love for yourself, no matter what anyone's opinion, no matter what they say you can't do, you will say, you know what? I love myself so much today. I'm going to go ahead and work towards my goal. You have a good day. Thank you. I appreciate your opinion. But make sure that you out there, when people are giving you criticism, make sure you could take it. And the only way you're going to learn how to take it is if you love yourself enough to know that you're not perfect. Not everyone's going to like it. And it's okay. But when you ask for people's honest opinion, don't be afraid of the truth. The truth is sometimes very eye-opening and alarming, but don't be afraid of the truth. And don't be afraid to tell the truth. Don't lie to whoever and say, oh my gosh, it was great. It was fantastic. Oh, and it wasn't. Don't do that. You're setting people up for failure. You want to have great people around you. Be honest with people. Be honest with people. People want honesty. People want the truth. We go and we watch all these mentors because they are honest and truthful. And they are just their authentic self. Be yourself. Be honest. Be truthful. If you don't like something, don't pretend to like it. It's okay. It's okay to support people, but you don't have to lie about what you like and don't like. But you have to also understand that people are not going to like everything you do as well. And it's okay. That's all right. It's part of loving yourself. All right, cool. Hey, I'll try it this way next time. And don't take one person's opinion. And sometimes it's because that person is our spouse or our friend or our family or our kids or whatever life or part of life you're in right now. And that one person could dictate if you post, if you don't post, and all that. Learn to love yourself. Even the people closest to you will let you down, and that's okay. You'll let yourself down sometimes, and that's okay. Learn to be okay with that. Learn to love, be joy, be free, and understand you're not perfect. Guess what? You're not. Sorry. You're not. None of us are, and that's okay. All right, Marcie. I know I don't even know how long I've been talking, so I don't know if you're still. Did you ever get on camera? There you go. Hey, lady.
Hey, hello, everybody. Where's everybody's cameras? Jada, Melina. Let's go. Bless Ortiz, Karina. Where's the cameras? I want to see some faces. Come on, I feed off of energy like that. Let's go. Turn those cameras on. If you guys loved what Anna shared, drop a one in the chat. Anna is on fire as always. She brings amazing value every single Sunday to these calls. She also does her own call on Wednesdays. It's a midweek mental check-in mindset call. So, she's She's just phenomenal. Naturally, you're doing really, really well because it's like a passion. Like you don't even have to think about this shit, you know, it's amazing. So thank you guys all for being here. Those of you guys who don't know me, of course, my name is Marsie McCann. I've been with Monet since the end of March, and it's been very interesting, but at the same time, I've grown a lot. Okay. The reason I say interesting is because I've never actually sold a tangible product, done demos, watched my face on camera. Guys, this was all very new to me. But you know what? Part of loving yourself is stepping out of your comfort zone. Part of loving yourself is stepping out of your comfort zone. So I really want to talk about that today because I feel like a lot of people stop themselves, especially in their business. They don't really push themselves to that next level or, you know, to that point of being uncomfortable, right? Because it's scary. I get it. It's scary for all of us. It was scary for me. My first month, 2 months, I had no idea what I was doing. I was cursing at my ring light. I was cursing at the products in my hand when it was dropping while I was trying to do a tutorial. Like, it was not easy. But eventually, the more and more and more I did it, the more and more and more I stepped out of my comfort zone and I forced myself out of that shell, the better I got, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I feel like you have to see what your perception is of yourself in the process of you being in that uncomfortable situation, right? A lot of times what really gets in the way of that next level of success is just our perceptions of who we are. It's like the idea of who you think you are. You have one idea of who you are, and then when you ask somebody else, hey, what do you think of me? Or, you know, that you'd be shocked at what other people say. And then it doesn't even resonate with you because you're like, damn, I didn't, like, there's so many times that people give me compliments and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so confident when you speak, like you know, or you're so confident on camera. Like I've had a lot of people when I'm in do lives the way that you do. But little do they know that I'm freaking the fuck out. I am nervous. I am beating myself up in the process of me actually being on that live. I am criticizing every single word coming out of my mouth. There's doubt that happens. Like there's all these fears and all these things happening at the same time. But it's interesting because what people see and their perception of me is different from the way that I view myself. So I have to overcome the way that I think about myself. And I feel like that's honestly where the self-love portion starts, is changing the way that we view ourselves, right? So ask yourself, you know, why is self-love important? Like if you want to make a shift from, you know, where you are to being more in love with yourself and embodying self-love, you must be emotionally connected to that journey. You must be connected to the journey of, you know, not criticizing yourself anymore and just becoming that best version of yourself, right? A lot of times we listen to that little voice inside of us, that little voice that tells us we're not good enough, right? A lot of times we're settling for less than what we deserve, right? So if you find yourself in that situation, whether it's in your business and in your personal life, whether it's the people you're surrounding yourself by, like I want you, or if you're not maybe going through it right now, but you have gone through it before, where you've listened to that negative voice or you've settled for less, you've allowed your surroundings or circumstances to really like bring you down even more, drop a 2 in the chat because we've all been there. Like Anna says, no one is perfect, right? Like we've all been through struggles and been in situations that have literally not only tested us, but have actually kept us down. That's self-sabotage. That's like the opposite of loving yourself, right? So that's something that Anna had also talked about, is she said, you got to make sure that you take your power back. You got to make sure that and the way that you take your power back is to surround yourself with good. Immerse yourself within the company of uplifting people, right? Like that's what this business allows us to do. That's what being a part of Monet allows us to do, is that we get to surround ourselves with like-minded people. Everybody's on this journey together. There's no one person more perfect than the other one, or no one person more better than the other one. It's just not the way that works. This is a growth for everyone. there may be levels to this shit, right? There's some people that have done this longer, that maybe have a little bit more online marketing experience, a little bit more social media experience. And hey, believe it or not, like, yes, there are people that have done a little bit more self-developing and have been able to develop themselves longer over time. And then there are people that just come in and they still have to work their way through. But when I talk about there's no one person better than another, I'm talking about you on a spiritual level. I'm talking about you as an infinite spiritual being. We all are here on this earth, in this life, to evolve and elevate. And I always go back to this because I truly feel that when you think about yourself more in that sense, as being a spiritual being, there is no reason for you to compare yourself to anybody else, right? Because we are all on that infinite, energetic, spiritual level. We all come here with that. So like the physical appearance, like what Anna talked about, the way that you look, the color of your skin, your weight, your hair, all that stuff, that is so irrelevant. That is so irrelevant because all that stuff just ends up down in the ground amongst dirt while everything else moves on to another, I don't know, whatever you believe in. But what I'm saying is none of that stuff is relevant. So bringing it back to immersing yourself within a company where people are uplifting, you know, that is part of loving yourself because these are people that serve you in your highest good. But when we're surrounding ourselves with, you know, toxic people and people that are constantly negative, sometimes we are in their life for a reason, but then when it gets to the point where they're dragging you down, it's time for you to kind of like take your power back and just remove yourself and surround yourself with people who truly love you, people who truly support you, people who truly respect you, right? Because that's also part of that self-love. And if you don't have those people around you, then find them, right? Like right here in this community, seek them out and don't stop until you find your tribe. That's another thing that so many of us talk about, so many of the leaders talk about, is like find your tribe. You are the people that you have around you is who you are. Like you basically attract the people that are based on your energy. Your vibe attracts your tribe. They always talk about that, right? The other thing that I do also want to talk about is forgiving yourself. I feel like Anna pretty much touched on almost most of the stuff that I also wanted to touch on. So I don't want to repeat what she said, but forgiving yourself is such a big, big one. And I know that was a big one for me. I beat myself up for the longest time because I gained almost half of my weight back that I lost. I was on a weight loss journey, and I bring this up all the time. I lost 80 pounds, and then I was able to maintain the weight loss for, I don't even know, maybe 5 years, 6 years. And then I would say like the last 2.5 years, I slowly started putting it back on, right? And guys, there was a time, I would say like last year, like around June or July, where I got so down and depressed because I was literally beating myself up about all of it. Like I was just literally saying, oh my gosh, how could you do this to yourself? Like you went through all of this pain, you suffered blood, sweat, and tears, literally busted your butt in the gym, all this hard work, like how could you, blah, 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 right? And that just took over me. And I resented myself for that. I was angry at myself for like the longest time. And then I literally had to realize like, wait a minute, wait. You're just, and what's crazy, it's a cycle because now I'm not being very compassionate to myself and I'm beating myself up. So what does that do? I'm an emotional eater. So I'm feeling like crap. What's the first thing you do? Go to the fucking kitchen to eat and fill yourself up with more food, right? How many of you guys have been in this situation? Yo, like type a 3 in the chat because I don't know about you guys, but like for me, health and wellness has to be on the forefront of everything I do, on top of spirituality, of course, because that's how I know I can hold myself accountable. And when I feel better physically and spiritually, obviously I do better, right? But the thing is, guys, I had to learn to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself for all of that. You know, there was no room for resentment. And the other thing too is we have to forgive others. A lot of times the things that we are going through as adults is just a reflection of some of the stuff that we've been told growing up, some of the things that people have said to us, when we were growing up, the way people made us feel, our parents, you know, people close to us. There's some of us who may have gone through really traumatic experiences, you know, in our childhood and have seen things that maybe we should not have seen as a child, you know, and all those traumas and all that stuff, it just stays with you subconsciously. And then you become an adult and you don't know like why the hell your life keeps going in these circles. And it's like you keep getting yourself caught up in situations that's not elevating you, right? But then we forget that maybe there's some resentment, there's some anger, there's some hate towards certain people who did some things to us and we don't realize it. So in order to really like elevate and love yourself more, you have to learn to not only forgive yourself, but forgive others, right? You're not, guys, condoning their behavior. And this is something I had to learn. I'm not condoning their behavior when I forgive people. You're not condoning their behavior when you forgive people for the wrongdoings that they've done to you. You're simply giving yourself permission to let go and move on. That's like the toughest thing ever, but you're giving yourself permission to let go and move on. And this is a tough step, but it's very mandatory. It's very important. It has to happen. Forgiveness is part of self-love as well. We talked a little bit about being more compassionate, self-compassion. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you guys, but why are we so hard on ourselves? Yo, like why? We are like literally our biggest critic. We are so hard on ourselves. The expectations that we set the bar so high that it's like, it's impossible to like, you know what I mean? Like even practice self-compassion because we're just like, oh, when we don't reach it, now what happens again? Beating yourself up about it, right? Go easy on yourself, guys. We need to go easy on ourselves instead of being like our toughest critic. We need to be our own best friend. Who on this call is their own best friend? Are you your own best friend? Are you your own best friend? Type an 8 in the chat. If you are your own best friend, type an 8 in the chat. Because literally, I want to then come through this computer screen and hug you because that's amazing. Because for a lot of people, that's hard to even see themselves as their own best friend. Talk to yourself, right? The way that you would want to be talked to, for example. We tell ourselves some of the hard, like hardest things, like some of the meanest things, like we say to ourselves, like, oh, you're not this, like when last year around June, July, when I was going through all of that craziness in my mind, I was literally talking so bad to myself. Treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. That's going to make you feel better and continue to forgive yourself along the way, guys. So we have to practice self-compassion. And another big one, and this will be my last one, and then we're going to open up the call so that people can like share because I want to hear from you guys. You need to set healthy boundaries. Huge one. Like that's a huge one. Set healthy boundaries because it's good for you. They protect your needs and they honor your worth. All right. Never hesitate, guys, to set healthy boundaries. You got to set healthy boundaries. Like take that, like my biggest thing is like, and a huge tip that I can give you, a tip to help you recognize, you know, when a boundary needs is being met, is to set it to the point where, like, if your intuition is telling you something, then you need to listen to your intuition. Like, I feel like that's part of self-love. Like your intuition is everything. If something feels like, I think Anna, you had touched on this where you said, don't lie. Like if you don't like something, then don't lie about it, right? But basically, if an interaction with someone or something or a situation feels icky or it doesn't feel right to you, then like trust the intuition, set the boundary, just be honest with yourself, right? Don't force things that is not like, if it doesn't feel right, don't force it. Because then you're crossing your own boundaries. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm just going to be real with you guys. There's some people that I've had interactions with throughout my journey with Monet and in this business. And I'm not saying anyone specifically on my team or even in this business, but just people that I've talked to, right? And I just know like it's off. Like, I just know, like, I'm not going to force this person. Like, if I know that they're not good for my business, I'm going to, like, legit, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't even pursue it, because at the end of the day, I need to set healthy boundaries for myself. Because if I have somebody come into my business where I know that there's something off, or they're just like, we don't vibe, or the connection's just not there, or like I just get a really weird feeling, like, I don't know, like they're just, I don't want to say negative, because there's going to be people join the business that may not have the best mindset, and that's okay, because they learn that stuff here. But it's like, later on, it's going to be worse for me if I end up forcing them into this business, or end up having them join me knowing that there's like this icky feeling and like something isn't right, right? And I'll make an example. There was a guy who reached out to me. This was before we launched the wellness. He knew me from just being online, and I always knew that he kind of, I don't know, he kind of had this like other idea of me, right? Which, whatever, like his little comments and stuff was always like kind of a little inappropriate. Not, I don't know, you could just sense. And he was so like wanting to join this business. He was like, yo, sis, like I'm coming, da 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 da. And I'm like, the interaction's feeling a little icky. A line has been crossed a couple times. I don't know if this is a person I would want to work with in this business. Maybe in my last business, it would have been okay. But even then, I didn't even sign him up in my last business, because I just knew like there was not going to be a healthy boundary. Like, it was going to be like, oh, you're my upline now. So now it's like, you know, you're at my disposal, like da 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 da. So I literally, guys, believe it or not, like I told him, no, I'm sorry, but I don't think that it's the right fit. Like, I don't think he's a right fit for my team. And I just told him that, because I knew that something was off. So you got to trust your intuition, right? And take that as a sign that you need to set boundaries. So in your business, in your life, that is part of just self-love. It's like, you don't have to force stuff that is not meant to be that way. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to let Anna, if you want to call someone out and maybe ask them, you know, one thing they loved or one thing that they learned from the call, and maybe even share their own experience, I will let you pick the first person, because I feel like I might be a little biased here. Like, okay, Tanya. So go ahead and pick the first person to share and unmute. I think you're able to do that, if I'm not mistaken. Are you able to unmute? No?
No, you.
Oh my, really?
No, I was stuck on mute. No, I wanted to touch base about the weight loss thing. Marcie, I don't know, it's very familiar to me, because I was 360 pounds at one point, and now I'm like 145 or whatever. But
Wow.
it's just that I had to seriously, like, I still see, like, it was crazy, because it's all about mindset, right? And it's because, like, there was things like, you know, being big, you know, you automatically go sideways in certain situations, or you're overly cautious, or you're scared to eat in public, or maybe there's certain things that you're self-conscious about. So even as I lose weight, I find myself still in that mind frame. I'm going sideways through a door a certain way, or so it's like you have to understand that no matter what you change on the outside, if you don't change inside, you'll never be complete, because you will always see that negative or that bad limelight. You have to change your mental in order to fix what you even are going to love about your body as you fix it. So please make sure you're fixing your mental in that situation. But let me see who's in here, and I'll go ahead and call on them. I don't want to be biased. Hi, cutie. I'm going to go with Jada. I think I'm being biased too. I don't think I was any better, Marcie.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if she could talk. Can you talk, Jada?
Type it in the chat, Jada.
She might be stuck on mute like I was.
Yeah,
Jada.
I was stuck on mute.
Stuck on mute.
I'm here now.
You got me singing over here.
I absolutely love the call. The whole call spoke to me. So basically everything that you all said was of value to me. You know, especially with the little things in life. I think it was number 12.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes we get so caught up throughout our day where it's just kind of like, you know, everything is like so hectic, and you just have to take that time for the little things. Like, you know, like I have plants in my house, and I make sure that I take the time to like let my kids water the plants and teach them
Mhm.
about, you know, how plants grow, and, you know, be easy with them. Don't tear off the leaves, like, you know, things like that. So the little things in life are beautiful, and it can bring you so much peace, so much self peace, like within. So yeah, I absolutely love the call. And I hope that answered the question. One thing I loved, one thing I liked. Yeah, so I loved the whole entire call, and I like the step 12 and all the little tips on the, you know, your mindset with the weight loss, because I'm definitely going through a weight loss journey, and I need to write down and visualize what it's going to be like for me when I do lose
Mhm.
weight, so I can be excited for the things that I'm going to love, and go ahead and change my mindset about that.
Right. Food
You know,
was
Yeah.
a comfort thing for me. Like I had the weight loss surgery, just so you guys know. I didn't do it on my own. I'm not going to pay claim and even, you know, try to sell that in any kind of way. I had weight loss surgery, and it's just food was my comfort. So even going to it, I had to change that. I can't go to food for my feeling because it would make me sick. If I overeat or whatever, I would throw up. So it's like
Mm,
I had to learn the hard way. Like my mind, though, is like I needed food to comfort me, but it didn't. I needed to learn that I am okay the way I am. That's what I needed to learn.
damn, that's deep right there. Bless Ortiz. Let's go. I want to hear from you. Thank you for being on this call and showing up and supporting. Let me go ahead and put her. Hold on a second.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Where's your camera at, though? I want to see your face.
I said tomorrow. I said tomorrow I was gonna
Oh yeah,
put
you're doing
myself
your
on camera.
motivation call tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Share the link.
definitely. Well, the entire call spoke to me. Obviously, this is it was just certain things that I was dealing with, mentally, like, you know, listening to people, allowing them to have an opinion on my life, and just even my coming out story is just what everyone else was gonna think. That's how I lived my life. And then I eventually broke free and said, you know what, screw this. I can't live like this. I was killing myself. And then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't even give a shit anymore. And I just went for it. Um, I lost a lot of people, but the ones that actually really did give a shit about me and did care and did love me, like they're still here, they're rocking with me and they're rooting for me left and right. Um, but that's like one of the biggest fear was me losing people.
Mm,
And eventually me losing all of those people that like had something to say, had an opinion, had was telling me, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was listening to them. When I let them go, I just started living. Like
mm,
I stopped existing and started living at that point. So
Mhm.
yeah.
that's deep.
It's crazy because we all kind of like, because, you know, I came out the closet and then I lost a lot of people. I started even introducing myself to people as, hi, I'm Anna, I'm the lesbian. You want to be my friend or not? Because I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't care anymore. But it's just, it's a matter of like, we're all in a way though living in some kind of life of a closet. We're all afraid of somebody's opinion or losing people, and we're all afraid to be alone because alone is scary. Alone
Yeah,
is terrifying, and that's the crazy part. It's like we'll stay in relationships, we'll keep people, we'll stay in closets, we won't tell people the truth because we just don't want to lose people. And at the end of the day, you lose yourself. And what's more important, having yourself or having all these people around you with an empty soul? And so I
exactly.
just like, you gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the biggest thing. And the biggest issue is that And not only that, but I feel like this generation now, like they're losing sight that at one point it was hard to be who you were. It wasn't
Mhm.
as easy as it is now.
Right. It's
Like,
like a phase now. Like, oh, I'm
yeah.
gay too. Oh, okay.
Like I try to bring that across to everybody. Is like, because a lot of people say, oh, but that's so stupid, that's so dumb, why'd you go through that? Excuse me, a couple years ago this was not acceptable.
Damn, that is
Bro,
true.
I
We
remember
need a
crying
whole
when they
podcast
legalized
on this. I
marriage
need a Marcy talk
everywhere.
live on this. Hold up. I need to interview all of the lesbians in
Right.
Monet.
Like,
Let's do
I
Hell
it.
remember
yeah.
when they legalized gay marriage across all states, I know, like, cried. I was like, oh my God, like, this shit is real. Like, that's
Yeah,
like, that's how much it means. Cause I remember losing people coming out the closet. And it's crazy because you lose people becoming yourself. Everybody does. It's just, it's more out there when you were coming out the closet, right? And now it's no big deal. Like, people go
exactly.
in and out of gayness like it's nothing. Like it's like whatever.
It's
They
more
gay
of
one
a
week, got a boyfriend the next week, end up pregnant. You like, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. So
exactly. And I feel like monogamy and just being like infidelity just became a big thing. It was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I'd rather have a girlfriend one minute and then a boyfriend the next minute and then another girlfriend another minute. And then I'm just going to be an unstable, toxic circle vibe. That's what I'm
On
going to
his
be.
face.
and then the circle's so small, you end up with one of the friends. You're like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, my bad.
That's like the biggest thing ever.
Jada and Karina's like, oh my gosh, what did we get ourselves into over here with this conversation? I'm gonna unmute everybody. Hold on.
That's funny.
Hold up. Let's unmute everybody because this is crazy. Okay, see now we don't need this to turn into another 3-hour call, but okay.
Don't play because you know it will.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing. Jada says, haha, I don't care. I love you all. We love you too, Jada. So T, talk to us, girl. One thing you loved, one thing you liked, and a little bit of your just your input on this topic.
Well, one thing I love is just that we always come together for these calls. Okay, there's inspiring words, there's motivation, and it's just look. Growing up, I didn't have anything like this. I had therapists and psychiatrists and pills.
Mm,
I don't like any of that. Okay. Um, Coming into a community where I've run into a lot of people that have had the same issues. Like when I told people that I was pan, they're like, "What's wrong with you? That's not the way it's supposed to be." Like, excuse me, what's supposed to be for you isn't for everyone. Like, I'm not gonna follow by your ways. I'm loved either way it goes. Um, my weight loss wasn't as dramatic, but I had weight because I screwed up my knee in high school, and I actually ended up blowing out my meniscus and ripping it in half. So, like, I've had issues. I've had problems with my weight going up and down. Of course, being pregnant, I'm gonna be fat anyway, so it's cool too. Um, but like after the one that you guys just saw on the screen, Zahara, after her, like I had postpartum depression really bad and had to be put on meds and everything else. Hair was falling out, all craziness. I was stressing on a constant. Like it was just traumatic for me because I could have lost her at the same time of losing my own life. So like I was constantly worried about, is she breathing? Is she this? Is she that? Is her heart pumping regular? Because she's actually got a, I forgot what it's called. It's like a irregular heart rate. So, dealing with that, dealing with the fact that, I do have other children. Some of them have special needs, but not dramatic they're ADHD, or a couple of them are on the autistic spectrum, just not hard into it. And I didn't even find any of that out until like a year ago. And it's not something it's easy for me to talk about in bigger groups, because it's like my kids are, even though they're young, they're very pride filled. Like, they don't want people to know what's wrong with them. They don't even want people to know if there's anything wrong with them. It's really crazy. I know there's a lot of people like that, but coming into a community like this, I've met people that their kids are, autistic, or their kids have something, and it's like, I met my people, like, I have family that they're blood, but like, they don't feel like family, like as our community does to me. Like, trust me when I say a lot of people that I've come together with, not only in business, but like, I've made good friendships with, like, they don't even know half my story. And it's crazy because, like, I see them on a daily. One of them is my best friend that I stopped talking to basically when I first started with money, because it didn't understand why my time was being taken away all over again.
Is that the same one that called this a cult?
No, my best friend, which he's a guy.
Oh, there was another one that I said, what?
X.
We are a cult now.
We are a cult. And okay, guys, so I've always had body image issues growing up. Like I said, I was bigger from high school because of my issues with my leg. And I started feeling better about who I was, not only inside, because that's when I first started with my meditating and putting my mind at ease on certain things. I wouldn't let the kids bug me. I wouldn't let adults bother me, telling me to stop eating so much, blah, blah, blah. I kind of was able to tune all that out. But at the same point, that person called it a cult. They said that I was demeaning myself because somehow I was showing my chest in pictures that I take to put on Facebook and Instagram, to show that I'm a whole human being here. They said that I was exposing myself. That was the word, and it's like, I'm sorry, I feel great about myself. If you guys would have seen me back in the day, I always had on shirts like this. Like, this thing is like 8 times bigger than me. But since the other night when that was said to me, I've worn shirts like this. And I let them actually get in my head. And for me,
you gotta practice some self-love, set them healthy boundaries.
For me, that hit a point to where, because this is a person that said that, they love me and they care so much about me and they value me and they understand me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I actually let that get into my head that, hey, maybe I am. So I went back and I looked at every single one of my pictures, and you know what I did? I turned around and I sent a message back. I said, I'd rather be in a cult with some of the most beautiful minds than have somebody like you interfere in my life. And I ended it there. Yes, I still have on the shirts that are covering me, but like, that's always been there. That's just something that I still got to get away from, because if somebody says something about it, it comes right back. It's weird. And yes, setting healthy boundaries. I do that most of the time, but that's a spot that hasn't been touched in such a long time, and it just kind of hit the wrong spot inside of me. I'm like, I got to figure my way back out of it. And I will, because we know me.
You always do, man. You always do. Like, I don't even know how you do it. There's so many times when like we have conversations, and some of the stories that you share of just like stuff that you deal with when it comes to people and the things people say in the comments that are made. And it's like, not only that, but just like your life story and what you've been through. It's just incredible to me. So I applaud you, you know, and like when you said that this is the like that little family, and like you found like your, you know, like it's amazing because our community is growing, y'all. We have, well, there's 31 people in the LGBTQ like chat right now.
Yeah.
I had no idea that there were so many people in Monet, like, you know, in that movement. But not only that, like we're growing to the extent where people that are kind of woke and more in tune with their intuition and into the spirituality stuff and the meditation and the crystals and the, you know, like it, more and more people are just coming together with that kind of mindset, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I don't know what everybody's, like I said,
Absolutely
spiritual thing is, but like that's huge right there. I feel like spirituality is a big one. I want to hear from Karina before we end off.
So quiet.
I know, Karina. Come on, Karina. We got a minute left for you to share. And then where's she at?
No, I'm just grateful that I have you guys in my life. It's just so wonderful. I mean, I was so lost a couple years back. I didn't have really friends, and then I met this girlfriend, and then she just ignored me, and then I met another one, but it was toxic friendship, and you know, I just went through so much when it comes to friendship situations not working out, or they using me, or you know what I mean. And I'm just really grateful to find you all guys here in my life right now. This moment is just so beautiful to have beautiful human beings in my life. Each and every one of you is so different, and it's just, you know, you each and one of you gives me like different I don't know how to say, like different strength,
A different
different different motivation, different, I don't know, strength. You know what I mean? It's just wonderful. Just really good and wonderful to have you guys all.
We love you, Karina. We love everybody. Listen, I don't know where the rest of the team is, but we got to make sure that we get everybody on the Sunday Sizzle, because I think like this is not even half of our team with Majestic Leaders. But listen, I want to say this, Bless. I'm saying Bless because your name is showing up, Bless Ortiz, here in the chat. We really appreciate you for tuning in and for coming through and supporting, you know, the team. Definitely feel free to like always hop on these. I'm gonna make sure, because before we never used to share our links in the big chat, which is the Alpha Project chat, because you know, out of that team there's like little teams. So from now on, like lately we've been sharing more of our team calls in there, so we're going to consistently do that so we can do more, you know, collabing and getting other people on from Alpha Project. But she does have a call tomorrow. Did you guys confirm a time? Is it 6 o'clock or 6:30? I think. What's the time?
I think we chose 8.
Oh, you went with 8 EST?
Yeah. Eastern.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. I can't wait. Make sure you drop that link so we can share it out. Is there a flyer? You guys have a flyer that we can promote?
Well, Nella is working on the flyer and the link at the same time. So
nice.
Hopefully tomorrow we have it, but 8 o'clock we're getting on. Me and Paris were on a call this earlier, and we set everything up. So the topic is mostly on fear. So some of this stuff touch base on that. Like, so
see?
Get ready.
Nice little prep. Well, we love it. Thank you guys. Anna, anything you want to say or just add to the call before we end off?
No, I just appreciate the new faces. Thank you so much for the support. It does mean a lot. Like I said, I am just a true promoter of mental peace, mental clarity, and self-love. So please just make sure you're sharing it. And just if you know someone who could use it next week, let us know. So
yeah, we do these every Sunday at 10. So thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.